Good morning, Slidell. I'm Greg Cromer, your mayor. Just wanted to get back with you again and bring you another message about COVID. The second wave, it appears, is upon us. I know everybody's focused on getting back to normal, having normal activities, doing normal business, preparing for school to start this fall, preparing for football to roll around, high school, college, pro. If we want those things to happen, we've got to stop the pace. We've got to slow the pace, cover your face. That's the slogan that's coming out of the parish president's office, it's coming out of the governor's office, and we're here to reemphasize that. I'm not going to beleaguer that an awful lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Chief Kaufmann, who's here with me today, along with Chief Fandal. But Chief Kaufmann has the data break down the numbers of cases in the parish and in our zip codes. So I'm going to turn it over to him to talk to you about the numbers and what we're faced with. Chief Kaufmann.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. You know, obviously yesterday we saw the worst day since the beginning of April. We had 81 cases in St. Tammany Parish, and we had 2 deaths. When I look back, this past Friday we had 69 cases. Saturday and Sunday was a 2-day report. Even if you split the data, was 106. So you're talking about 53 per day. When you look back 7 days, the last 7 days, Mayor, the numbers have spiked. They're much more than we saw in the month of May and June. So definitely we need to be concerned about what's happening in St. Tammany Parish. We are still running in the Slidell zip codes around that 40 percentile. Overall in the parish, the other 60 cases are throughout St. Tammany Parish. Obviously, when you look at the populated areas of Mandeville, you're going to see more cases, just as we had in April in the Slidell zip codes. We can't ignore it. We're doing about 950 tests per day right now in St. Tammany Parish. Many of the sites are running out of tests early. We do have some venues set up for next week. They haven't released it yet, but there's going to be some additional testing. Pearl River, Slidell, and Mandeville next week. I would tell you to wait for that to come out. We have to do whatever it takes to slow this spread, this second wave of spread down. And when I say that, I think the mask, the sanitizing, wash your hands, cough in your elbow, all those things that we started out saying today is really what I think we need to stress. Our businesses have to put the mask on, it's mandatory. We have received some complaints about workers that don't wear the mask. Today we're asking all of our business owners, managers, make sure every employee has a mask. You want the public to be comfortable to come into your business. The last thing we as community leaders want to see happen is go from a phase 2 back to a phase 1. That is going to be devastating to our business community. They are operating at 50% capacity today. They brought employees back to work. We've had people that have gotten off unemployment. And if we go back to phase 1, I think it's going to be devastating to the business community. And today we have to do whatever it takes to stay in phase 2, work through this spike that we have right now so that we could potentially get into phase 3. The governor's going to make his announcement later on this month. I would think the 3rd week of July puts it 28 days from his June 26 press release. So today we're looking at really a 14-day period. We've been tracking 10 to 14 days from a significant date, Father's Day. Mm-hmm. I think we need to be looking back to, and I think this past weekend, July 4th weekend, we have to look at July 18, somewhere in that 10 to 14 day period that we should expect to see those numbers, and it could be an additional spike on top of what we're seeing today. So my message is it's awareness. We can't go backwards. We don't want to put our guard down. I can't stress it enough. PPE works. None of my employees have been infected from the job with contact of COVID-19 patients, which we have been in contact with on response. So the social part of what we're doing, I think, is what needs to be our concern. All those touch points,
Right.
Doorknobs, handles, when you go in public, all of those things that everyone's touching, you have to get into that routine. I think we all have it now. You mask up, you sanitize when you get back to your vehicle. I can't stress it enough. And the at-risk people in our community, right now, they need to stay home. That is truly concerning. Our death rate has gone down through May and June, and even part of July. But in the spike of cases, we have seen the death rate pick up from those months.
Mm-hmm.
Not back early April, but we were getting day after day 0 death report. As I said yesterday, it was 2 deaths. Friday, we had 3 deaths. You have to look at the death rate sometimes as a 4 to 6 week delay from when they were infected. Whatever that case may be, it's still part of the statistic, and we're seeing deaths now along with the increase in cases. When you look at some of the data from LDH, we're seeing multiple cases at one address. That tells you somebody went out, got infected, and went back home. So some of that social distancing and cleansing or sanitizing has to be practiced in the household, I would think, is a message we need to put out today. Don't put your guard down. Obviously, we're seeing an increase in numbers, and I think it's because of some of the social distancing being relaxed. I think we've all seen it on social media, but I think we're the people that should put the message out. We're looking at the data, we're tracking it. At risk, stay home, and I think the message needs to be mask up.
Yeah.
Mask up every chance you can. If you can social distance, you're okay outside. If you go to our restaurants,
Right.
they are set up that you're not even close to someone. It's beyond 6 feet that you are apart. So, we want to support our business, but we want to do it safely. And we really don't want to go back to phase 1, which I think we're at a critical point right now.
Yes, I think so too, Chief. Thank you very much. Chief Fandal?
Basically the same information. Look, it's gotten personal for me. I got a good friend that's in ICU right now, and he's in critical condition, COVID-19. So listen to what the experts are saying. Never mind, the political sides of this. Let's start listening to the experts and the CDC and what they're saying. If you can wear your mask, it helps, and it keeps this from spreading. And if we can do that, like you said, we'll avoid going backwards in this thing. I don't want to go back to phase 1. Nobody here wants to go back to phase 1. So it's simple. Listen to the experts. Wear your mask when you can wear it. Wash your hands when you can wash your hands, and social distance. So
Great.
thank you.
Thanks, Chief. I asked these gentlemen here, my partners at Team Slidell, to be with me today so that we can emphasize the importance of what we're talking about. Social distancing, masking, sanitation, avoiding situations that you're uncomfortable in, avoiding crowds as much as possible, limiting the travel and activity in the community as much as possible, staying, I don't want to say self-isolated again, but truly trying to stay away from folks as much as possible so that you don't either contract COVID, or if you have COVID and are unaware that you have COVID and could be an asymptomatic carrier, that you're not exposing somebody to COVID unintentionally. So I wanted these gentlemen to be with me. Number one, Chief Kaufmann had the numbers. Number two, Chief Fandal, he's on the streets. His people are on the streets day in and day out. They see what's going on. Just to emphasize again the importance of being vigilant with our personal protective practices, social responsibility, personal responsibility at this point in the fight against COVID, the unseen enemy. We have to be particularly vigilant and assure that we keep going forward, reducing the numbers instead of letting this spike grow, having this spike grow. Reduce the numbers so that we can go to phase 3 later on this summer or fall, so that we can continue to be back to a more normal, productive life, so that we can go do youth football, youth soccer, high school football, college football. Heaven forbid the Tigers not be able to play this year. We've got to have Tiger football again, and this is one of the things that we need to do to make sure that we're ready for Tiger football. All jokes aside, folks, this is serious business at this point. We have to do what's necessary to protect ourselves, our family, our friends, our community. So, with that, I'm asking you, stop the pace, cover your face. If there's any point that you can't social distance, you're going to be in a group of people or around people, you can't social distance, please wear a mask. If you're going to be in situations where you're going to be around people, keep that 6-foot distance between you and somebody else as much as possible. Be vigilant with that. Avoid going into crowds as much as possible. Sanitize, hand wash multiple times. During even any event that you're in, keep a little hand sanitizer in your pocket. Clean your hands. Cough into your elbow. Protect yourself, but also protect those that are around you. With that, I want to thank Chief Fandal and Chief Kaufmann for being with us today to share the emphasis, the importance of this message today. I thank them for being key parts of Team Slidell and their support that we get in protecting and promoting and moving our community forward. And I thank them again for joining me today. With that, I'm going to sign out from City Hall. This is Greg Cromer, your mayor, wishing you the best, giving you all the information you need, I hope, to make good decisions and to move forward. And we'll be back with another message probably before the end of the week as the numbers roll in. I will share those with you so that you'll have the information that you're desirous of. So thank you for listening today, and thank you for the opportunity to serve our community.